Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to start another lecture that is regarding the endocrine system, and the topic is the catecholamines. Endocrine hormones. What are the endocrine hormones? The hormones word is derived from the Greek word that means I excite or arouse. Hormone is specialized chemical messenger that a gland or tissue produces and secretes. So hormone is the chemical messenger released by the gland. Endocrine hormone affects the metabolic activity of the target cell or tissues in specific way. So endocrine hormones affect the metabolic activities. So as in the case of enzymes, hormones are not changed by the reaction they regulate. So it is not changed by the reaction, they regulate that reaction. Okay, only rarely does a hormone operate independently. More typically, a one hormone influence depends on and balances other hormone in a controlled feedback network. So one hormone does not work singly, so it depends on the another hormone for the feedback or for their activity. Biochemical classification. How we classify the hormones? Hormones are categorized in one of the three classes: proteins, amino acids, derivatives, and steroids. So there are three classes. Each class differs in its biosynthetic pathways. So peptide and proteins hormones are synthesized from the amino acids. Amino acids are the you may know that the building blocks of the proteins. So these are the protein or polypeptides hormones are made up of amino acids. Steroid hormones are derivatives of the cholesterol. Steroids are obviously these are cholesterolic background, so they are derived from the cholesterol. Amines from the tyrosine derivatives. Okay, now amine hormones. What are the amine hormones? Amino hormones are derivatives of the amino acids. So the as we already discussed about, amino acids are the building blocks for the protein. So most commonly tyrosine are formed. Tyrosine is the protein. Tyrosine is the amino acid which form the protein structure. Catecholamine Ca is a monoamine neurotransmitter, an organic compound that has catechol and side chain. So side chain amine, they have from the picture it is clear that is catechol, and with one side chain that is connected by the NH2, that is amine chain. That is the signal that it is amine chain. Catecholamines have the distinct structures of the benzene ring with two hydroxyl groups and an intermediate hydroxyl group with the ethyl chain and terminal amine group. So it is there is a benzene ring to hydroxyl group with that NH2 with an intermediate chain, and that is for the amine hormones. Amine hormones or catecholamine are water soluble and 50% bound to plasma proteins in a circulation. So it is 50% bound to the plasma protein. Catecholamines are derivatives of the amino acid tyrosine, which derived from the directly through the dietary sources such as synthesis from the phenylalanine. Phenylalanine is the another amino acid that forms catecholamine by and 50% bound by the plasma protein and water soluble. Tyrosine is created from the phenylalanine and by the hydroxylation by the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. This is an enzyme that means any substance that is end with the as, it means this is the enzyme. Hydroxylation is done by the enzyme phenylalanine the hydroxylase. Included among catecholamines are epinephrine, norepinephrine, dopamine. These are the catecholamines that convert that use in the several reactions to convert the tyrosine severely L-dopa and then to the dopamine. Depending on the type of cell type, dopamine may be further converted to the norepinephrine or maybe even to the converted to the epinephrine. Phenylalanine, phenylethylamine such as norepinephrine have a hydroxyl group on the ethyl chain. So it has a hydroxyl group on the ethyl chain. So we can see here the structures: dopamine with the NH2, norepinephrine with the OH, epinephrine with the NHOH, and CH3 on the side chains. Production and degradation is occur by the how it occurs by location, by synthesis, and by degradation, and so we will discuss about now location. Catecholamines are produced mainly by the chromaffin cells and the adrenal medulla and the postganglionic fibers of the sympathetic nervous system. Dopamine, which acts as a neurotransmitter in our central nervous system, it is largely produced neuronal cell bodies in the two areas of the brain stem. One is the ventral tegmental area, and the second one is the subtangential area. Similarly, neuromelanin pigment cell bodies of the local produce norepinephrine. So these how the norepinephrine is produced, how they localized, we have discussed in this paragraph. So the epinephrine is produced by the small amounts in the small amounts of the small groups of neurons in the human brain, which express the its synthesis enzymes, phenylethylamine and methyl transferase. So it produces the epinephrine in the brain cell. Epinephrine is very active hormone for the various functions in our body. Dopamine is the first catecholamine synthesized from the dopa. In turn, norepinephrine and epinephrine are derived from the metabolic modifications of the dopamine. So the enzyme dopamine hydrolase, that is enzyme, requires copper as cofactor. Copper is required as a cofactor, and decarboxylase requires PLP. So these different hormones work by the enzymatic activity. And so A's mean whenever we see them at the end of the any word, anything, A's, that means it is enzyme. The rate limiting step in the catecholamine biosynthesis through the predominant metabolic pathways is the hydroxylation of L-tyrosine to L-dopa. Catecholamine synthesis is inhibited by the alpha methyl P tyrosine, which inhibits the tyrosine hydroxylase. Now the biosynthesis. The amino acids phenylalanine and tyrosine are precursors for the catecholamines. Both amino acids are found in high concentrations in the blood plasma. So amino acids phenylalanine and tyrosine are precursors for the catecholamine. So both amino acids are found in the high concentration in the bloodstream, plasma, and the brain. In mammals, tyrosine can be formed from dietary phenylalanine. In the mammals, dietary phenylalanine is produced by the tyrosine by the enzyme phenylalanine hydrolase, found in the large amounts in the liver. So insufficient amounts of the phenylalanine hydroxylase result in the phenylketonuria, a metabolic disorder that leads to the intellectual Okay, now the biosynthesis of the dopamine. Catecholamine synthesis are usually considered to begin with the tyrosine. So like this, all the precursors and the hormone is activated by the enzymes activity by the L-DOPA, and that is a hormone is produced, and the biosynthesis of the by synthesize thanolamine is produced by the activity of using neurons, using norepinephrine and epinephrine by the enzyme B hydroxylase to produce, which converts to the norepinephrine, and also still present. Then transmitter came and convert it into the norepinephrine into epinephrine. Thus the transmitter contains four enzymes, which whereas norepinephrine contains three enzymes. So the activity proceeds, and the by the phenylalanine produces trityrosine. Then at the L-DOPA, dopamine is released out, and the norepinephrine is produced, and the epinephrine then produced out. How the degradation occurs? Degradation is the breakdown or destruction of the hormone. How that occur? Scatecholamine have half-life of a few minutes. When the circulation in the blood there can be degraded by the methylation of the catecholamine, catecholamine methyl transferase, that is a COMT is the enzyme. MAO is a deamination by this occur and breaking down of the aminoacids with the aminoacids enzymes. The degradation of the catecholamine occurs. How the catabolism of the catecholamine is mediated by the two enzymes, that is COMT and MAO. Then both enzymes have cofactor. COMT has Mg2 plus 2, and MAO has FAD. Then the first step of the catabolic process is mediated by the MAO and COMT, and then the tissues in the location of the catecholamine is synaptic cleft mediated by the COMT because MAO is the mitochondrial enzyme. So the end product of the epinephrine and norepinephrine is VMA and is excreted in the urine. So how the catecholamines are catecholamine reacted like dopamine is produced, then the norepinephrine, then the epinephrine, then goes to the dopaminergic and aldehyde intermediates are formed, then the alcohol metabolites are formed. How these reactions dopamine will convert it in, how these reactions takes place. Dopamine is converted into through 4-hydroxy acetic acid and 3-methoxy tyramine, then converted into homovenalic acid. So that is the degradation processes for the dopamine for the catecholamines. So these will be degraded out at the end.